The four drivers leave Nairobi for their first look at the route of the Silver Jubilee Safari Rally. Ahead of them, 6,000 kilometers of dust, mud, rocks and river crossings through the bush country of Kenya. During the next 2 weeks, the world's top professionals in Fords, Lancias, Datsuns, Peugeots and Colts will cover every inch of the route. As well as carefully noting every bend and every hazard, they'll be testing brakes, suspensions, transmissions and tyres in preparation for the world's toughest motor rallies. The sharp rocks on roads like this can tear holes in tyres with ease, and on the Safari you can't afford time for punctures. This is the first of many suffered during the recce of the northern leg. Too many delays like this cost too much time when the overall average rally speed has to be more than 60 miles an hour, and Ford will be treating the matter very seriously. Part of the thorough preparation, driving the cars through a lake. It's a move which is to stand the escorts in good stead during the rally.
How high did it come on the recce, Roger? How high up, did you say?
It was to the top of the wheel arches, and obviously the seats were full inside, and the steering wheel was about the only thing clear of the water. It's quite interesting. And with the rain we've just had, you know, it could be at least as bad as that on the event.
I shall try my very best once again.
What about the route this year? Is it a difficult route, or?
It is going to be a very hard one, yes, sure.
Harder than ever before?
Yes.
Why is that?
Well, they have added about 1,000 kilometers to the route, and it goes into the worst parts of Kenya. And now the rains have started. I think it's going to be rather dicey.
But presumably this will favour your own chances, I would have thought.
Well, we are not very powerful. Our cars are not so fast as compared to the Fords and the Stratos and the Peugeots. So I think we should even up the chances.
Timo Mäkinen for Peugeot.
Good safari this year. Of course, the rain can do some stupid things for rally, but it's very rough route, and I think this best safari so far.
I don't think the fastest car will win. The most reliable car will win.
72 winner Hannu Mikkola.
I think my teammates will do very well, I think. And I have seen Fords and they look very well prepared.
Kenyan ace Vic Preston Jr.
I've driven a Ford for a long time, and they must be the best prepared Fords I've ever seen from Bora. And I think that all going well, and the weather being a bit different to what it is now, maybe a bit of rain here and there, the Escort should be able to win this one.
A bustling, colourful crowd for the start of the rally at the Kenyatta Conference Centre on Thursday afternoon. Voldegaard leads the field away. It's raining and the sky promises more to come. Next away is Britain's Roger Clark. Simo Lampinen in the first of the 3 Lancia Stratos races. Once out of Nairobi, it isn't long before they hit the first really wet conditions. Roger Clark obviously means business. Bjorn Voldegaard's a little more cautious and takes to the water halfway through. Simo Lampinen changes his mind about taking it flat and settles for half in, half out. Sandro Munari tries to avoid the water altogether and almost succeeds. Three-times winner Jaginder Singh tries to avoid it too, but gets into uncharacteristic difficulties. It's Jean-Pierre Nicolas in the Peugeot who has the most individual approach, though it's hardly the quickest. Finish ace, Ari Vatanen in Ford Escort number 14, having his first taste of the safari. He treats the water with evident respect. Before long, dry roads give Ari a chance to return to a more characteristic pace.
Left minus.
The young Finn was taking his first safari very seriously. He was bitterly disappointed when rear axle trouble combined with appalling weather conditions to eliminate him on Saturday. Not only Ari was to have trouble, Hannu Mikkola was to retire even earlier. Vic Preston Jr. in Escort number 18, soon to hold second place in one of his best performances in 7 years of safari driving. The dark horse of the rally, Rauno Aaltonen in Datsun number 17. Davinder Singh, teammate and brother of Jaginder. Darkness falls on the first night. It will be one of the worst and wettest nights in safari history. Fewer than half of the 68 starters will survive the rain, floods, and seas of mud. Good Friday dawn at Aiten in the Charangani foothills.
Well, we've had about 8 inches of rain in the last 4 days here. 2 nights ago we had 3 inches, and then last night maybe about 1.5 inches, and then last night it rained for the whole night, about 2.5 inches again.
Bjorn Voldegaard arrives at Aiten, already rally leader by more than half an hour.
Okay. Norman, check the diff in case it's leaking. Have you got a wheel spar? Take away the mud from the way.
Mud clogging the wheel arches is a problem.
Harry's had a disco. And
Nothing's what I have to be worried for.
Roger's had a water pump fall out. But
right-end passage control and the first of the Lanciers. The car stops on the driest patch the driver can find, while the co-driver picks his way through the mud to check in. The set average speed of the rally, over 60 miles an hour, includes all stops, and there's no time for gossip. Jean-Pierre Nicolas, third behind the escorts of Voldegaard and Preston Jr. The Peugeot's broken windows have been caused by fun-loving but stone-throwing villagers. Co-driver Jean Todt jumps back in and they're off. Voice of Kenya Television writes at the point of action. The school books say the equator is hot and dry, but this was it on Good Friday afternoon, and just look at the weather. The escorts of Voldegaard and Preston still lead, with both drivers showing incredible mastery of the conditions. Munari's Stratos chasing the leaders hard. He can only hope that trouble will hit the escorts as he wipes at the windscreen. Saturday dawns and it's still raining. Near Matatani, Voldegaard hits more floods and again uses caution. While Rano Aaltonen, now fourth in his Datsun, uses a more dashing approach. So does Munari, and look at the water inside the spotlights. Ever-cheerful Scotsman Andy Cowan in fifth place and leading the Colt Lancers. At Sagana, on the edge of the Aberdare Mountains, the rains have turned a quiet stream into a lake 500 yards across. Local children wade out to mark the road as Shinazuka's Lancer tackles the crossing. He's lucky. The leaders hit this lot in the dark. On Easter Sunday, the cars left Nairobi again for the southern leg, and some welcome sunshine and dry roads towards Mombasa. At Jiriyama, a few miles from the Indian Ocean, dust is a problem again. This is Andy Cowan's Lancer lying third now. Voldegaard's Escort is still leading and sounds as good as ever. Aaltonen's Datsun, second overall now, but minus his back window. Vic Preston Jr. down to sixth place after electrical trouble in the night, but still strongly in the hunt. Munari Stratos, now fourth, but chasing hard as he hurls the lightweight racer to the village. (1976) Safari winner Joginder Singh, going well but a long way behind the leader in fifth place. Mazeras, where the usual floodwater is lower than ever before. Voldegaard still takes it gently. But Aaltonen is as dashing as ever in his hot pursuit of the leading Escort. Vic Preston's brilliant safari is nearly over. He'll be forced out in the Taita Hills on Sunday afternoon with a broken clutch and bell housing. The forward service point at Voi is tense. A rock has fractured a brake pipe on Voldegaard's Escort, and the temporary repair, leaving him with only 3 brakes, has cost him some of his lead. As mechanics swarm over the car to complete the repair, Voldegaard, fatigue showing in his face, climbs out to stretch his legs before the last long night of the rally. While the work goes on, co-driver Hans Torzelius sorts out his pace notes.
Do you know how much time this has cost you, this break?
The work took about 10 minutes, and then I think I lost a little bit, so I had to drive a bit slower, but not much. Not much.
So it's still got a good lead still?
Yeah, I think so.
Easter Monday morning. It's been another night of terrible conditions. At Nyeri, Bjorn Voldegaard's Escort still leads. But Rauno Aaltonen hasn't given up yet during his best safari performance in 15 years. At Maranga, the worst is over. Only a disaster can take victory from the Escort. Bjorn Voldegaard is as good as home. His Escort speeds back to Nairobi after what must rank as the finest drive of his career. The final run-in to the finish through spectators who jam the roads up to 40 kilometers out of the city. In 25 years of safari rallies, the Silver Jubilee event has been the longest, wettest and toughest ever, with only 12 of the 68 starters reaching the finish. For Voldegaard, it is victory at the 6th attempt. It's the second win for the Ford Escort and the second too for a Swedish driver.